So today we're on the road. We're actually going probably about an hour from CJ's, doing something a little bit different. I've said many times over the years, one of the best things about this hobby, this industry, is the people that you meet. And my friend I'm going to visit today, he's been in the industry a long time. He's a great customer at CJ's. He's also a great friend. He has a very unique job. He does wiring for race cars. Now, wiring is one of those things that most people just do not want to touch. They're paranoid, scared of doing it. This guy's made a career out of it. The best thing about it too is that, like I said, he's not really doing restoration stuff. He does race cars. The company's called RaceWires, and that's become his specialty. And he gets cars brought to him from pretty much all over the country to have him wire these cars professionally for them. And he hit me up the other day, we were chatting, and he's got a race car down there that is kind of a legend in the Mustang racing world. It's a racer that's been around for a long time, won multiple championships, still has the same car from back in the day, and apparently he's putting it back together to get ready for some dig or die events. So when he told us this car was down there, it's like we wanted to visit his shop and kind of show you guys what he does, and we hear that this car is there as well. That was just a perfect opportunity, so we're heading down there today. And trust me, this car is absolutely sick. If you're in the drag cars, you're gonna love it. But wait till you see the kind of stuff this guy does with wiring. I mean, he is an absolute artist, and this is gonna be something you guys are definitely gonna want to check out. So we're down here just outside of Lancaster with Troy, who I've known forever, and you gotta tell me, wiring something people don't want to do. Why did you decide to make a career out of it and honestly become one of the best in the industry of what you do?
I have no idea. Somehow I enjoy it. I enjoy the planning, execution. I wish it was more gratifying, like quicker, because it does take.
It is a time-consuming job,
time-consuming process. But for whatever reason, I enjoy the tedious tasks and the ECU work. Now,
do you have any sort of, training, like electrical engineering background or anything like that, or is this just something you started doing on your own?
Absolutely on my own. Research on the old drag racing forums, yellowbullet.com, turbo forums, all the stuff back in the day. A ton of research. Licensed plumber by trade.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
And that just led to wiring race cars for RaceWires, obviously is the name of the company.
I basically put myself through my own college education, per se, every evening.
Okay.
I would study, discipline. I would just read.
And you started kind of by doing your own car.
Absolutely.
And then somebody's like, hey, how about you do my car? And now you've got race cars everywhere.
You do one
high-end race cars too. This isn't like budget build stuff you're working on.
This is a whole nother level here, and I don't stand back too often to look at it like that, but yeah, this is way different from when I started. One race car with an MSD box compared to complete chassis wiring.
Yeah. And do you do smaller jobs still? Like, if somebody wants to add an ignition and a cluster, or do you kind of stick to the big race car builds now?
Yeah, these days I try to focus my attention on this because it is demanding.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy the smaller stuff.
And it's a niche role. There's not a lot of guys who are gonna do what you do wiring wise. You got a lot of chassis builders out there and stuff like that, but when it comes down to getting the car wired, there's not a lot of guys doing that.
Yeah, not at that level, start to finish, right? With the complexity of.
And how long have you been doing this now?
Full-time RaceWires has been in the game 9 years.
Has it been that long already?
9 years.
Wow. It seems like a couple of years ago.
I know.
And you wired my car, obviously. You wired Mustang. Did an amazing job. Of all the problems that car had, electrical was definitely never one of them. And where do you see RaceWires going? Obviously, every time I come down here, your shop gets bigger.
I don't plan on getting bigger than this. I love the back cave. I love the one-on-one with each client, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to get bigger that way, shop-wise, and blow up like that. Bigger in the sense of hotter cars. Keep continuing.
And how backed up are you right now? If somebody comes to you with like a high-level car and says, I want a full front to back.
Yeah, it'd be 5, 6, 7 months.
Wow. Okay.
We'd have to schedule. Yeah.
So you basically have a never-ending customer list of people who want the service you're providing, which in this day and age is definitely impressive.
Yeah, it's no shortage of work there.
All right, so tell us about the car we got here. What are you working on? Obviously, it's GT500, but tell us about this car.
Yeah, this particular car, Dom Donato, he races small tire X275.
Okay.
A lot of small tire radial classes, single turbo, mod motor, EFI, all the goodies. Top competitor, wins.
Now this car is what ballpark? 2,000 horsepower, probably somewhere in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Maybe a little north of that?
Probably less than that. We're way less than that.
Way less than that, okay.
Yeah, we're nowhere.
And obviously we're not going to admit that.
We don't.
In that ballpark, it makes a lot more power than normal street cars going.
A little bit.
Now, is this car, again, a front to back that you did the entire wiring job on?
Absolutely. Everything from headlights to fuel injectors to coils.
So tell us about this. I mean, obviously you talked about you guys wired this car front to back. I mean, the wiring on this dash is like art. I mean, what's going on over here?
And I really appreciate that. So yeah, this is a good example of a radial race car with your EFI system. We install that all from scratch. Your chassis relays, basically, coil box, all the harnesses, all made. Bulkheads for the firewall for easy engine removal. Is basically everything. We take care of the shifter harness. Here's your shifter wheel for staging. You have your trans brake and your bump to stage the turbo when the car goes forward, a little bit, and the second light comes on. That's what that guy does.
And a lot of these plugs and stuff you have, this is stuff that you make all in-house.
We make it all in-house, easy removal, so these guys can get in and out. And you also have to think safety, right? That's the first thing. You have to be able to get in and out of the car easy. All your switches have to be easy. Up here's a switch panel. If he runs into a problem, he can just kill the ignition switch real quick.
And you guys wire up like fire safety systems and all that kind of stuff as well?
So we do sometimes. I don't specialize in the plumbing of them.
Yeah, obviously it's a little bit different.
But if there's any sort of wiring that NHRA, there's some specifics that have to go in when the chutes are pulled, things, the ignition automatically
Yeah, the ones
off.
that trigger things
Yes.
in the case of an accident, correct?
Absolutely.
So not only is the wiring important for the car to operate, there's a huge safety factor in your car being wired properly too.
Big time, because you got to make sure the spark and everything shuts off when you hit that switch off.
Gotcha.
If you got a fuel leak or things happening, you want to make sure the
Things can go wrong in a hurry.
Things are functioning correctly.
Now, as cool as Dom's car is, there is a big reason we're here today is the car in the other bay.
We have another surprise.
Let's
for
go
you.
check that car out.
Let's go look at her.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of geeking out a little bit. I've been an NMRA fan for a long time, particularly Street Outlaw back in the day, and this car was a legend back in the day.
Yes, it was. This is Manny Buginga, the famous Manny.
Outlaw champion, record holder, all the fun stuff.
One of the kingpins in the game, right?
And this was his OG car. This was the white, red, and blue car from back in the day.
Yep, red, white, blue car. It's pretty much the same chassis, other than some updates for some newer style.
And how long has it been this car since it's seen the track? I mean, it's got to be 15, 20 years probably.
I'm not sure. I don't think he's had it since 2002.
Okay, so we're talking 20 years right there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been on the track since.
So what made him bring it back? I mean, I know he's got a bunch of cars, obviously. He's got some amazing rides, but I mean, this was like the OG Outlaw car back in the day.
I think the opportunity came up where the car became available, and he took it.
Oh, so he did sell it back in the day and got it back. See, that's even better.
Yes. And the son, Little Manny is going to be...
He's going to be driving it.
He will eventually, I think, be wheeling this
Okay.
thing.
And what kind of events is he going to do with his cars? I mean, I don't think he's going outlaw racing again. It's going to be more like...
So
no prep, or what's he doing?
Yeah, Manny's style has always been class racing, but he's getting into the no prep, and this particular car, we're setting it up for dig or die.
Okay. And how soon is that?
That is actually the end of this month. So we're trying to get this car done in 3 days for him.
3 days?
3 or 4 days.
Is that something you guys would normally do, or
No,
is that
absolutely
that's for
not.
Manny?
Yeah, this is for key situations.
So
right?
full front to back rewire in a few days' time.
Yes.
So you're working 20 hours a day on this car?
About
right
20,
now?
21 hours between 8 and 9.
So if you're looking to come to RaceWires, you're not going to get that treatment unless you're this guy, but that is amazing. I mean, this car obviously is...
We try to accommodate tight schedules, and of course, you have those clients that you've just been working with forever, and you're considered part of the team. So you try to do the team.
And I'm sure this falls under that with.
We're your team. So
because obviously there's a lot. There's a lot of car here, but there's a lot to be done. You can just see by looking at it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of plumbing. He's got to do all the plumbing when he gets it back. So they have some key things to do when we're finished with it.
So obviously this car is not on the level of Dom's car yet, but it's obviously heading that way. Tell us about the interior of this car here.
Sure, this is a much simpler combination, so there's not near as many electronics needed. We have all the electronics mounted down there. and we're tidying it up, getting it all ready. Hopefully Manny can pick it up this evening, where we could have it done for him tonight.
This evening?
This evening.
Okay.
Yep.
Now the other car had a Holley system in it. You're running a fuel tech on this one?
This car, yeah, we have great success with fuel tech. Manny loves fuel tech, and all of his cars are winners, and they've really performed well. Their customer service is fantastic, and their harnesses are really nice. The only way we can get a car done like this in 3 or 4 days is because Fuel Tech supplies a really nice harness to start with.
Okay, so you don't have to modify it and change it up. A lot of it ready to go.
Dom's car was from scratch. Every wire in the ECU we hand crimped and pinned. This car comes pre-done, and then we add on the extras that we want.
So this gives you a really solid base to work off of when you're doing something like that.
Yes, sir.
So it seems like Fuel Tech is one of your favorites as far as when it comes to wiring stuff.
Install in 3 or 4 days. Yep, it's up
About
there.
the only way you're going to do it.
It's the only way I'm going to do it.
So Troy, I want to thank you. I think this is awesome, seeing behind the scenes of these cars and what actually goes into wiring a race car. It's the thing people don't think of, and it's very important, as you said.
Right on.
Now, this car, though, I mean, I can't wait to see this car at the track. Again, thank you for bringing us down here, and I think we're going to do more of these. I think we want to actually follow you to the track at some point and maybe actually go behind the scenes and see these cars in action, see some of your work in action, and kind of continue that. So if you're down for that, we'd love to do it.
I would love to. It's been a pleasure. Absolutely having you guys here at my shop. Welcome back anytime.
Awesome. Yeah, we definitely are going to do that.
Glad to let people in on the ins and outs of the back cave a little bit.